Hey, guys. Welcome. So excited to be before you on day number 2 of the Call to Coach. Now what? Listen, we have been taking a deep dive into helping amazing coaches just like you not only identify whether or not you've been called to coach, but what are your next steps? How do you implement? How do you create a plan of action? How do you move forward with becoming the coach that God has called you to become? I am Latoya Early. I am your vision coach. I am also the founder of Chase Great University. We are a niche certification company for Christian startup coaches where we help you align your life's purpose with your coaching message so that you can generate profit without compromising your kingdom assignment. So listen, do me a favor. We have another one of Chase Great's amazing coaches who's going to join us on today, just so that we can talk more about the 3 pillars of coaching. We're going to talk about growing your coaching business. And what does that look like? What is that going to what are some things that you can do in your coaching business so that not only you can become the coach that God has truly called you to become, but so that you can grow your coaching business and reach the financial goals that you desire to reach in your business? So I am so excited to join our amazing self-coach Tiffany Shoemaker to the platform with us on today. We're going to just have a candid conversation. We're going to talk about Chase Great University. We're going to talk about what we do here at Chase Great University and how we can serve you in your coaching gift, in your coaching assignment. So I'm going to yield the mic and allow Tiffany to say hello and to introduce herself to each and every one of you.
Hey, Coach Latoya, and hello, everyone in the community and on the live today. My name is Tiffany Shoemaker, and yes, I am a self coach. I support solo moms in overcoming the lie that's the limitations, the insecurities, and the expectations of being a mother. It is all about increasing your self awareness so that you are more empowered beyond motherhood. And it is my pleasure to be here to talk about Chase Great because it's been pivotal for me in my business and in coaching. So thank you, Coach Latoya, for having me.
So you listen, y'all. I promise you, I do not tell the coaches what to say. Okay, I do not give them a script. I do not tell them what to say. They jump on and they share what's on their heart. So it makes me smile to be connected with Coach Tiffany. I remember when Coach Tiffany first came into the program, and we were just working through her assignment, right? Just getting clarity of what her gifting was in coaching. How do I make this messaging clear? How do I monetize this thing? And so it has definitely been an honor being connected with Tiffany and having Tiffany a part of the Chase Gray University program. So let's go ahead and let's jump in. I want to talk about the 3 pillars. Our topic for today, we're talking about 3 steps to growing your Christian coaching business. And what does that look like? How do you grow a business that is centered and grounded in the Word of God? One thing that we press here at Chase Great University is it's hard to take a kingdom assignment and try to stuff it into secular strategy, right? I know that many of us are familiar with the different certification companies and the programs that are around, which are all fantastic programs. But here at Chase Great, we try to focus on, I'm not going to say we try, we do. We focus on helping you do 3 major things in your business. So if you're in a space where you're looking to not just start a coaching business, but you're truly trying to figure out, how do I grow this? How do I monetize this? I want to share with you our 3 steps, the 3 pillars of Chase Gray University, and what we do here and how we're able to serve and support the coaches that come into the community. And so we brought Tiffany on so that she can speak from her perspective. Most times we talk as the founders or the owners of the companies, and you hear us, you hear our heart. But I want you to hear the heart of a product of Chase Gray University to really connect with her story and see if you can find yourself in her shoes, if you can find yourself in her experiences. Because one thing I know for certain here at Chase Gray, we are all about helping you become the exact thing that God has called you to become. So, Tiffany,
Yes.
The very first pillar that we focus on here at Chase Great is, and this is step number one, guys. If you're writing this down, I want you to write this down so that you can identify this in your own business. Okay. So, our step number one was learning how to mature the gift of coaching. Here's the thing. I've been in coaching since 2000. I've been a part of the industry of coaching since 2012. So I've seen so many different strategies. I've seen people do the craziest thing trying to market their company. I've seen people, try to find what's popular. I've seen people try to chase money. Listen, I've seen it all. But one thing that I knew that will be pivotal in a Christian coaching practice is maturing the gift of coaching. So when you think about Chase Great, we break our curriculum down into three different levels. Level one is our intro to niche coaching. Level two is learning how to get hired. And then level three is your official niche certification. So, for those of you who've been wondering, what does it look like behind the scenes of Chase Gray? What does the curriculum look like? What am I getting myself into? We're going to spend some time talking about it. So, again, step number one, our very first pillar is maturing the gift of coaching. Tiffany, what can you say about how Chase Great has been able to help you mature your gift in coaching?
Well, one of the things that I love about the title of this live is called to coach now what? A lot of times we realize that we've been called to something. We're called to a specific area of life, of work, of career. And one of the things that Chase Great helped me to do was to ensure that I was listening to my call. It was about being truly genuine and understanding what is it that is my assignment. And if I don't understand who I am and who God has called me to be, then I won't be able to further cultivate my gift in whatever it is that I'm called to do. And understanding that it is coaching, it means that you do a deep dive in you. You have to discover your identity in Christ and what you are called to do and who you are called to be. And so, as you learn who you are, then you are able to hone in on what your gift is, who you are called to, who you're called to serve, what it is that you're called to teach them, what you've been through in life that is going to now benefit someone else, because it's ultimately not about us. Even though I'm a self coach, I need you to know it's not about you. It is about the people that you've been called to touch, the people you've been called to teach, the people who are going to be impacted by you, everyone that is connected to you. And with Chase Great, you dig deep into understanding that it's not just a curriculum, it's about you and learning you first.
Yeah. No, I listen, when I tell you you hit the nail on the head, you guys know that when I first started Chase Great, we started out doing purpose discovery, right? So we started out helping people really understand and unlock their life's purpose. Over time, we've evolved, and this is where the niche certification program really was birthed. It's because I remember being the coach who knew that God called them to be a vision coach. I'll never forget the day that I was in my office. We had our brick and mortar. We closed our office in 2019. But we had our brick and mortar, and I was in a space and I was saying, Lord, I don't know what's happening right now, but I need to know what's next. I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know what does the bigger picture of this look like. And as clear as I'm speaking in this moment, he very clearly showed me that I was a vision coach. And so I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how to articulate that. I didn't know how to share that with people. And I struggle. I struggled so bad. And I struggled with this because not only was I in a space where I was just kind of understanding my spiritual gifts, but now you want me to take this spiritual gift and apply a practical definition to it so that I can present it to the world. I'm like, what? Like, How you want me to do that? Right. So I remember going out searching for organizations, searching for coaches, searching for programs. I wanted to be certified. And I wanted to be certified not necessarily for the credibility, but for the training. Right. I wanted the certification so that I can obtain the proper training so that I can show up and become the coach that I know that I was called to become. I struggled with that. Right. So I found these programs and they were giving me the coaching skill, but they weren't giving me the tools on how to mature the gift. How do I become a better steward of my gift? Because one thing that I struggle with my gift is excuse me, I would share it with anybody, right? Anybody who wanted it, I'm like, listen, y'all ready for it? And I would get frustrated because I found myself wanting more out of people than what they wanted out of themselves. And that was frustrating for me. And I thought it was something wrong with me. Like, I think, like, okay, y'all, I think it's something wrong because I'm getting mad. And I would talk to my husband, and he's like, why do you get so upset? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I get so upset when people aren't doing what I can see. And this is when the vision coaching part really began to make sense to me. It's like, okay, Lord, you've given me this gift of coaching, being able to see the gaps and the assignment of others. And now you want me to bring clarity, confidence, and expansion to that vision. I get it. But on the flip side, because I was so excited about what God has shown me, I was dumping it on everybody, right? So anybody I came in contact with, for those of you who received this part of Latoya 10 years ago, I love y'all. But I was that coach. I was the one like, listen, and I think I'm kind of still like that. I think Coach Latrice, we did day number 1 yesterday of Call to Coach Now What. And one thing that Coach Latrice shared is that I will not let the coaches give up. Like, I won't, because I understand, number one, I understand the warfare behind kingdom coaching. I get it. The enemy is mad that we're designing a platform to dismantle his agenda. He's upset that we're building something. We're building an army of kingdom coaches who are out here to go into the lives of people and say, oh, you think that you're struggling with this, and you think that you're having a hard time reaching your reaching the success that you desire because of this, but let me show you what it really is. And so when we're going out and we're dismantling, the generational curses, and we're coming against all of these demonic attacks, listen, the Bible tells us very clearly, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. We know that this is a spiritual thing. And when we talk about maturing the gift of coaching, it's such an important, or such a passionate place for me, because I know that it's a spiritual fight. And so sometimes people, ask, why is your coaching program 6 to 12 months? Well, if we're going to help you mature the gift, you have to be ready to come against some of the adversity and some of the obstacles that you may face. And the last thing you want to do is face those obstacles and those challenges by yourself. See, being called to coach and choosing to coach are two different things, right? They're two different things. If you're choosing to coach because you want to be popular, because you believe it's profitable, then this program is not for that coach. But if this program is for the coach who says, I know without a shadow of a doubt that God has called me to solve a problem in the lives of other people, and I want to use his strategy so that I can pursue and go after what he has for me, then this is where this is where it happens. And so when we talk about maturing the gift, I remember when we sat down and designed the 3 pillars, and when we talked about maturing the gift, it just took me into another space, because I don't think we take enough time to mature the gift, right? It's like, I want to put something out there, I want to make money from it, I want to provide transformation. But one thing that I ask the coaches all the time, and Tiffany, you can attest to this. My number one question is, are we here to change the moment, or are we here to change the mindset? Right. And I believe, as kingdom coaches, as kingdom consultants, as kingdom influencers, that we're here to change the mindset. Well, in order to do that, guess what? You're going to have to do some internal work. You're going to have to do some deep diving. You're going to have to heal in the areas that you're trying to walk others through, because the only way for you to create that authentic experience with integrity is to know what it's like to experience it. And
Absolutely.
so when we talk about that, you talked about your gift in coaching and how Chase Great has been able to support you in maturing the gift. I want to talk about some of the pushback. I want to talk about some pushback,
Oh
because
my
here's the
goodness.
thing. People don't think that there's pushback. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to talk about the pushback, and I want to talk about how this community has supported you. And I smile because I listen, I know how this community has supported you in those seasons of pushback.
When I say that it is not a linear journey, it is not linear. Is we all over the place, and when especially when you're in that season of identity, and you're trying to figure out who you are in the midst of your call, there's pushback that comes from every angle. And I think that part of it has to do with the spiritual warfare that we experience. Once we've committed to coaching, kingdom coaching, then Satan is like, you know what? Oh, let me hit you with everything that I can to throw you off track. And you deal with the well, for me, I can't speak for other coaches. I know that it can be relatable, but for me, it was doubt. The spirit of doubt was constant. It's like, am I really called to do this? Am I called to really serve this group of people? Is this really my niche? Should this be my message? Is this how I'm supposed to present myself? Am I being authentic? Is this good enough? All of the questions will come, and it'll hit you like a ton of bricks, but the support of the community is what keeps you focused on what God has called you to do in terms of staying connected, having someone that you can reach out to, not just with questions. It's not just a chat box that it's not an email that you're able to send, but staying connected, not just with the coaches of Chase Great who are facilitators within the company, but also the other coaches who are going through the certification with you. Everyone's experience is different. And when you are experiencing those hardships, to have coaches that are available to pray for you, come on. If you have coaches that are available to support you, to remind you, remember, this is just a season that you are going through. It is something that will help to propel you forward. You don't give up. And I don't know many coaching environments, many certification environments where you get that level of support, where you've got somebody holding you by the hand. And I'll say about Coach Latoya, Coach Latoya says, where there are two gathered in his name, she says it all the time. I'm your one. You need two, I'm your one. Let's do this. Let's go through this. Let's make this thing happen. You always have someone in your corner. So when doubt starts to creep in, when the hardship starts to creep in, when the life starts lifing for you, you have the support that you need. You have the spiritual grounding that you started out with, but now you have a spiritual community who is going to help make sure that you reach your goals. It's huge.
I love it. I love it.
It's
Thank you so much, Coach Tiffany. Man, just I can sit and talk about maturing the gift all day, because I understand what it looks like behind the scenes, right? And again, this is for the believer, right?
right,
This is
right.
for the person who is answering an assignment. You're like, I know that God has positioned me to do this, and you're looking at your day to day and you're wondering, why am I up against this fight? Why am I, even for the coach who's in the position where you're saying, I believe that I've been called, but I'm not ready to say yes. That
Mhm.
resistance alone is a fight that you have to overcome. Because one thing I tell the coaches all the time, and I tell myself, listen, y'all, I had to tell myself this morning, I said, if you don't, I want you to think about all of the people who will never.
Right.
Right? If I don't say yes, if I don't show up and do what I'm called to do in ministry, in the kingdom, in the marketplace, then how many other women, how many other men am I not reaching, or am I not serving, because I'm allowing the attacks, the warfare, the struggle, the challenges to keep me down. Understand that what you've been called from is what you're being called to. So all of those experiences that you've gone through, all of those things that you've been fighting against, and you're trying to figure out, why am I going through this? The answer isn't in you, it's in him.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that God is using you as a vessel. He's using you as a conduit of an example of the people that you're going to have to serve. You need to understand what they're against.
Right.
As a self coach, and Tiffany and I, we work through her messaging. We work through all the time. She has this thing called moments,
Mm-hmm.
moments, right?
Moments. Like
Moments. I be messing it
moments,
up.
but moments.
Moments, not minutes. Moments. Moments.
Moments.
I be
Mm-hmm.
messing it up, y'all. Anyway, I'm saying it to say that she has been showing up on social media and really encouraging moms to take that moment, right? Take that moment to step back. Take that moment to breathe. Take that moment to think about self. Take that moment to regroup so that you can show back up as the best mom, as your best self. And we don't understand how important our assignments are until it begins to impact the lives of other people. Now, here's the thing. Let me tell this, and I'm sharing this with Tiffany as well, because we're going to move on to the second pillar. But I want you to understand that what we do, we work on internal development, right? So as kingdom coaches, we work from the inside out. So there's going to be a lot of internal conflict, a lot of internal ruckus, a lot of internal rearranging of what's happening. Why? So that we can prune, so that we can go through the pruning season, and so that the results really don't show up until the internal work is done.
That's right.
And that's what we mean by maturing the gift. So it's not that, it's taking too long. It's not that your business isn't good. It's not that your messaging isn't good. It's that internal work that's working so that you can show up before God's people prepared and ready to be the example. Maturing the gift is not just about saying, okay, I know that God called me to this, but how do I work on it? How do I nurture it? How do I develop it? How do I become the best version of what God called me to become? It's going to take some work. So let's go ahead and jump into pillar number 2. So again, we're talking about 3 steps to growing a successful Christian coaching business. And so, pillar number 1, we talked about learning how to mature the gift. The second pillar we focus on here at Chase Great is developing the skill. This is my favorite part, because I know that most times when you search up mythologies and framework, and you see all of these secular type strategies. I'm sure many of you have heard of the NLP technique. Many of you have heard of the different frameworks and the wheel of life, and just all of these different strategies that the secular world uses to help you grow your coaching business. And some of them I've used, and some of them I've learned how to, move around so that it aligns with the word of God. But one thing that stands out when it comes to developing the skill is learning how to develop kingdom skills. Like,
Mm-hmm.
one of the skills that we talk about is the spirit of discernment, like knowing how to go into a coaching session with your client and using discernment. Like that is a coaching skill. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to be able to discern what's on the other side of that camera if you're virtual, or on the other side of that table if you're in person. You have to be able to go into your coaching sessions yielding to the Holy Spirit, so that you can hear, so that you can assess, so that you can examine. One of the skills that we talk about is the skill of listening. Listen, the skill of listening is not just so that you can wait for to respond. It's so that you can listen, so that the Holy Spirit can then minister to you, so that you can say what that person needs to hear. Right? So when we talk about developing the skill of coaching, Coach Tiffany, please share, how has Chase Great been able to help you with developing your skill in coaching?
I love that you talked about listening. That's been one of the biggest standout skills that Chase Great has given me, and it's come through our coaching sessions. It's come through learning how to ask the right questions, learning how to hear what your client is saying, and developing questions based on what you've heard, as opposed to what you think you're just supposed to go down the line and do. There is a difference in having a methodology in place and actually using that as just a guide, as an overview, so that you're able to truly relate to the person that's sitting in front of you. And so when it comes to learning to listen, it is something that I actually didn't realize that I struggle with. I'm like, I'm a good listener. I got this. Ain't no problem. But really understanding what questions should be asked in the process of your listening, what you should be receiving. And then, of course, as you said, having the spirit of discernment so that you know, not based on your own knowledge, but based on the Holy Spirit, what that individual needs. And so I have to say that it took some humbling for me to recognize that I didn't necessarily have everything that I needed in place in order to coach, that there were some areas where I could stand to improve. And one of the big things that I appreciate is that we have coaching calls, and so you're not just exposed to um, the coaches again of Chase Great, you're also exposed to the other coaches who are going through the certification program with you. And there are certain skills that other coaches are able to demonstrate that allow you to recognize, oh my goodness, okay, how did you get to that point? How did you receive that? What is it that you are pulling from that I need to improve upon, because I recognize that that could be beneficial for my client. So it's, in terms of skill, it, for me, it is learning to listen and ask the right things that I've gotten from Chase Great, and really focusing on my niche, focusing on my ideal client, and understanding what their needs are to help them to get where they're trying to go.
That part alone, focusing on your niche, right? Because one thing, and I know that we'll get this list of questions to ask. And let me say this: when the coaches come into the community, we have a lot of startup coaches. Most of our coaches that come to Chase Great are startup coaches. They're coaches who are saying, you know what, I believe I've been ready. I believe I've been called to coach, and now I'm ready to pursue that call. And so, what we provide to our coaches is what we consider our 12-step identity map. And this 12-step identity map takes you through 12 steps on how to help your client go from one where they are to where they truly desire to be. But the art behind the 12-step identity map isn't so that you are asking these questions, right? It's to teach you how to ask questions, how to wait and listen to their response so that you can then help navigate them to their next. Now, here's the thing about coaching, and especially kingdom coaching. We don't want to fall into the space of telling people what to do. I know I do it. Don't come for me, okay? I got it bad. I know it, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna be like, no, like that's not what we doing. However, when we're training and we're teaching, we're showing coaches how to ask the questions that's going to help that person think differently. Keep in mind, our overall responsibility as kingdom coaches is to help shift the perspective, to help change the mindset. If your client is looking at a situation, if your client is looking at past trauma, if your client is looking at past experiences and they have a negative idea of this situation, it's our job to help come in and ask the right questions so that we can help shift how they're looking at it. If they shift how they're looking at it, they're going to shift how they show up. I'm
Right.
going to use as an example, I'm working with an executive leader. We're working one-on-one, and I'm working through her. I'm helping her. And I laugh every time I say it. When she hired me, she said, Latoya, I believe you can help me figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Mind you, this is a whole grown woman with a child in college, a husband, the whole nine. Okay. And so I laugh about that because as we're in our coaching sessions, the questions that I'm asking her are leading her to who she already knew she was as a grown up.
Hmm.
It just takes a different perspective. It takes a different approach on how what I've already known, it just becomes bigger. When the
Right.
Bible says that, God intricately put us together in our mother's womb, that means that he put everything that you needed inside of you. Everything that you need to become who he has designed you to become is already inside of you. Here's the key point. Sometimes you need someone else to help pull that greatest potential out of you. Because even as a vision coach, I have a coach. Like, I
Right.
come into the life of Tiffany, I come into the life of Coach Latrice, Chase Great. We have an amazing staff, and they'll be joining us tomorrow here, who serve Tiffany, who served the other coaches. Coach Sandra is absolutely amazing
Amazing.
at how she re-engages the coaches and keeps them engaged. And they do so well with the coaches. But guess what? I'm not the sharpest or the brightest crayon in the box. Like, we
Right.
need all of us together. Why am I saying this? Because sometimes as believers, we think that reading our word is enough. And one thing that God really checked me about, and I shared this yesterday during day 1, is he told me, he said, the same way that I've prepared you to coach and train others, I've prepared someone else to coach and train you. And
Hmm.
so when it comes to developing that skill, it's learning, how do I coach an individual? How do I support an individual? Help them change how they're looking at their current circumstances so that we can change the mindset, because in the mindset is where you're able to then change the behavior. And this is how you create that massive transformation in the lives of your client. But the first step to that is maturing the gift. Because if you are not working on the gift, you'll think the skill is enough, right? You'll think the skill is enough, but you can only go so far on the skill. You're going to have to connect and dive deeper into the assignment so that you can truly create a space of transformation for your client.
Definitely.
Coach Tiffany, do you have
Yeah.
anything else to add about the developing the skill?
It's just in terms of personal experience. I want to reiterate how you need to humble yourself. That every coach has a coach, that you are constantly working on you. And in order to develop the skill, sometimes we get caught in our mind. We're like, well, I can coach myself. If I'm coaching other
Mhm,
people, I'll just
mhm,
coach myself
mhm.
through
Yep,
what I'm going through. When you don't have the perspective, you don't have the vision, you've got tunnel vision. You can only see so far. So you have to be willing to open yourself up. And even as you're learning to cultivate your skill, you got to take off ego. You have to take off all of the things that you're carrying in terms of your abilities to be able to receive where you have an area to improve.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we're going to go into the last pillar. Again, we've been talking about 3 steps to growing your successful Christian coaching business. What does that look like? We've talked about maturing the gift. The gift of coaching and the skill of coaching are 2 different things. You can have the gift to do something, but the skill of it is what enhances it what develops it's what strengthens it, it makes it better. And so while many of us, I operated out of the gift of coaching for a very long time, but it limited me because I didn't know how to stretch myself. I didn't know how to take myself to the next level. It wasn't until I gained the training to then take the skill of coaching and then partnered it with the gift of coaching. And now I feel that my approach to coaching is so different. I feel that my approach to coaching is matured. And I'm so grateful. I have so much more, so much longer to go. But knowing that when you partner the gift of coaching and the skill of coaching together, that you are true to produce transformation in the life of your clients. Guaranteed. Our third pillar and our third step that we're sharing with you on today is developing the business. Now, this is a whole nother ball game, okay? This is a whole nother piece of this. And I talk about that because again, certifications, a lot of certification organizations and programs, they allow you to go through the skill because those different most certification companies develop you in the skill. They
Hmm.
don't really focus on the business side or the gifting side of your coaching. And so you'll go ahead and go through your programs. I see it so often. I have my certification. Now I'm ready to start my business. I have my certification, but now how do I get clients? I have my certification, but now what? I see it all the time. And so, because I started to see that be an issue, one thing that we didn't want to do here at Chase Great is to not provide you the aftercare, not provide you the what's next, not provide you with the opportunity to take your gifting and your skill, put it together to develop the business. One thing that I see often is the struggle between shifting from ministry to the marketplace, right? When I first identified my coaching gift, I was in ministry. I was operating as an executive leader at that time, and my coaching, it was flowing like water. And I didn't even know I was coaching. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. Even when God called me to be a coach, y'all, I had never heard of a coach. I had to go look it up. I'm like, what is a vision coach? What is a coach? What is a life coach? I'm like, it sounds like somebody that sits on Oprah's couch and tell her that her life is going to be better. Like, I don't really know what that is. So I had to go do my due diligence and go learn about it. And then when I started to learn about it, I was learning about the skill, but I wasn't learning about the gift. And I had to find another program to help me with the business. And so I said, why do I have to go through all of these hoops? Why can't I find a program that's going to provide me each one of these areas in one place?
Because you were meant to create it.
Listen, well, I didn't know it at that time. Okay. I really didn't. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And so when we talk about developing the business or growing the business, I'm sorry, of coaching, we're talking about your landing pages, your sales pages. We're talking about establishing your LLC. We're talking about your business taxes. We're talking about pricing your services and your program so that you can operate as a business and not as a solopreneur. We're talking about helping you to trademark your logos and your service marks. I'm saying, like, when we talk about business, we're talking about business. So I want to, of course, pass the mic to Coach Tiffany. How has Chase Great helped you in the on the business side of your gift and your skill of coaching?
This has been probably the most exciting part of being a part of Chase Great, and probably the most frustrating part of being a part of Chase Great, because you literally get A to Z in starting your coaching business. It's not just about developing the gift and developing the skill if you don't have a platform that you can use to launch your business. And so when it came down to establishing my LLC and making sure that I was able, it's the fact that Chase Great teaches you to be able to build everything on your own, learning the process of every part of your business, so that when it comes time for you to outsource, when it comes time for you to build a team, when it comes time for you to have someone else take some of the stress off of you, you already know how to do it. You can articulate what it is that you want done. The vision becomes very, very clear to the next person. And when they can't provide it, you can do it yourself. You have that ability. You don't depend on anyone else for your business to run. So when we say that you get A to Z in starting your coaching business, you get it all. And I love that. I love it. And I absolutely despise it because it can be challenging. I am not technologically strong, but ultimately it has forced me to step outside of my comfort zone so that I know what's necessary. I know the time that it takes in order to manage certain portions of my business, as well as understanding the financial side, which is usually what we think about. We think about what money we're bringing in. How do we manage our money? We think about the LLC, or however we're going to establish our business, but we don't think about the in between. We don't think about what it takes to truly market yourself, to market your brand, to market your business, to have everything in place so that when you start to grow, it is smooth. When you start to build, you're able to truly articulate your needs. That is huge. And you don't get that in other places. Chase Great is extremely unique in terms of being able to establish who I am as a coach, and then helping me build my skill as a coach and teaching me what it is that I need to do as a coach. Hands down, the best I've ever experienced. I'm sorry.
That makes me smile. No, I love it. I laugh because the coaches, they be mad. They be like, "Can I please just hire somebody?" And I say, yes, you can hire somebody after you do it yourself the first time. Here's why. Here's why I say that. Have you ever been in a job and someone comes and makes a change in your position in what you do, thinking or assuming that it's going to make your job easier, and they've never done it? Right? Like, have you ever been in a situation where you've been at your 9 to 5 and you're like, how can this person come tell me how to do my job and they've never done it? The last thing you want to do is design this multi-million-dollar business and you have so many other people doing all of the things for you that if all of those people were to fall, how will you continue to move forward? Don't fail because someone else isn't showing up. At the end of the day, this is your business. So listen, I don't like doing sales pages. Listen, I am grateful for our director, our directive lead. However, she wasn't always here. And if we go back down Facebook's memory lane, some of them graphics and some of that stuff that I was designing looked an awful hot mess. But because I was in a space where I couldn't hire someone, I couldn't, and even if I could hire someone, I wasn't in a position to hire someone with quality. I'm so grateful that when Chase Gray did start, that we had an amazing brand strategist. She is the one that helped us really establish the identity of Chase Gray. So I am forever grateful for Erica Yvonne for helping us come and establish what Chase Gray looks like. So if it wasn't for her, listen, she used to talk about me. She's like, take that down. Don't do that, right? But some of us don't have that type of support. So if Chase Gray can help you build out your email list, teach you how to write your emails and what emails to send out, teach you how to build your landing page so that you can launch your masterclass as a lead magnet. Like, these are the things that we help you do. Why? Because I know what it's like to be trying to build something that God told you to build and you don't know what the world you're doing. Okay. So the building the business side or growing the business side of Chase Gray University is important to us because we know that you have the gift. We know that you're working on the skill, but that's not what's going to sustain you. We want to help you develop a professional business so that you're not operating as a solopreneur, so that you are establishing yourself, so that you can bring in team members, hire contractors to help you bring the vision to life. The last thing we're going to talk about when it comes to growing the business is a couple of my favorite things that we do here at Chase Gray. We just recently launched the Coach My Life Network. It has been something on my heart for the longest time. People reach out to me all the time and say, "Hey, do you have a coach for this?" Do you? Absolutely. I'll put it in the community. I'll reach out to one of our coaches like, "Hey, this person is looking for you." And it was only evidence of what God had shown me of what we were to do next. So once you become certified with Chase Gray, we do not just leave you hanging, right? We really have created a community that gives you the opportunity to stay connected to us for as long as you choose. Listen, I have coaches who've been connected to us for years. One of the things that we do is we've created a platform called the Coach My Life Network, where you can now become a facilitator of this network. So you're teaching, you're training. I don't want to just help you. We don't want to just help you build out your program and you don't have anybody to teach it to. Building a business takes time. Marketing takes time. So what we've done is we've created the Coach My Life Network. This is the opportunity for individuals who are seeking lifestyle, business, leadership, or career coaching support to come into this membership, and they can receive trainings from Tiffany. They can receive trainings from Coach Latresa. The Coach My Life Network is a membership community that has trainings in it right now of the coaches, the certified coaches of Chase Great, where you can go in and you can access their trainings. You can hire them to work with you through some challenges that you're struggling with that you can't seem to fight through on your own. I am a huge believer of hiring a coach. Why? Because a coach, a kingdom coach, let me be specific. A kingdom coach is supposed to help you see things from a different perspective. We want to help you see things the way God sees things. We want to challenge you in how you're looking at this. We want to challenge you in how you're feeling about this. And how can we help you become the better version of you by connecting to the coaches of Chase Great? So that's one thing that we offer. I wish I had it. I should have had it next to me. That probably would have been smart. But we also provide the Coach My Life anthology. We launched the Coach My Life anthology in 2018. We are launching volume 4 in 2024. And I am excited about it because the Coach My Life book is exactly what it is, coaching in a book. It gives the coaches the opportunity to publish, to become published authors. We have our book launch. They have book signings, all type of amazing things. Why? Because we believe in the vision that God is giving you. And we want to help you launch the vision. It's not easy launching the vision by yourself. And especially when you're in a program where, you know, it's a 6 month or a 6 week program or a 4 week program. You have to consistently and constantly keep dumping income. When you can become a part of a program, and some of our additional services, that there is an investment for it. However, the investment is really to keep you accountable. The investment is really to keep you committed and moving forward. But at the end of the day, our goal is not only to help you mature the gift in coaching, not only develop the skill of coaching, but we want to help you grow the business of coaching and connect you to qualified candidates, help you expand your reach, help you expand your voice so that you are sure to reach the clients that you are called to reach. So I want to pause there and give Coach Tiffany her last and final of what she can share about Chase Great and the incentives that we offer to our coaches in the Coach My Life Network and the Coach My Life Anthology.
I want to say thank you. I know that I could share information with you all about the Coach My Life Network, but as a Chase Great coach, um, being a part of the certification program and having the opportunity to stay connected, to have a network that will provide me leads as a coach, that I'm not out here by myself. And it gives me the opportunity to be before an audience that I may never have had the opportunity to do so. That is truly a blessing. It's a blessing to me. It's a blessing to all of the coaches who are already a part of the Coach My Life Network. For those of us who are still going through the certification program, we have something to look forward to. And that's not something that is common out in the secular coaching world. It is something that is unheard of, to have an organization that is willing to not hold you by the hand, but hold you by the hand so that you are ensured to continue with developing your gift and cultivating your skill and growing your business as a kingdom coach. And so I just want to say thank you to Coach Latoya and to Chase Great for that opportunity. It is life changing.
You're welcome. Listen, y'all, we have taken up enough of your time on today. I want to thank Coach Tiffany for jumping on with me on today. I sent a message to the group like, listen, I need somebody to go live with me. She's like, I'm ready. And so I appreciate you for being connected to Chase Great and sharing your perspective of Chase Great and how we've been able to serve and support you in your business. We have so much more to do. We have a lot of work to do, Tiffany, and I'm excited about it. Tiffany already know I've already had conversations with her like What are you doing? Let's go. Keep it moving. Keep going because we got other work to do. So, listen, I thank you guys for rocking out with us today for Call to Coach. Now, what day number 2? We talked about 3 steps to growing your Christian coaching business. If you are ready, you're saying, Latoya, I know that I've been called to coach. What Chase Gray University offers is exactly what I need because I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to mature the gift. I don't know how to develop the skill, and I for sure don't know how to grow the business. Then I encourage you to go ahead and click the link in the caption and complete your application. We are preparing for the summer cohort, the 2023 summer cohort. And listen, these coaches are rocking out. I'm in the coaching community myself, like, okay, y'all, goodbye. I'm hanging up. Like, I'm going to bed. Yeah, like, good night. Why? Because not only are they showing up hungry and ready, but they know that they have someone that's going to show up with them. So if you're looking for that type of community, you're looking for that type of support, again, it's not only myself who is serving and coaching, but we have amazing coaches. We have our leadership coach, who is also our client success director, Jasmine Pittman. She'll be rocking out with us tomorrow. We also have our client engagement manager, Coach Sandra Cobb. She is also a forgiveness coach. Both coaches completed the Chase Gray University curricula. Okay, what we do here, we're about developing coaches and then using you. Like, why would we go out when you can not only become the coach that God has called you to become, but now learn how to serve other coaches and other people? Listen, it's about using one another in our gifts so that we can grow, and at the end of the day, fulfill our kingdom assignment the way that God has called and created us to do. So do me a favor, click the link in the caption, complete your application, join us for the summer cohort, and I look forward to connecting with you guys inside of the community. Thank you so much, Coach Tiffany.
Thank you. I
You guys
appreciate
have
you,
a
Coach
good day.
Latoya.